Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to a live stream. Wow, it's been like 7 or 8 days now since we've had a live stream. I took a nice long break and I announced it over on the Discord and I believe the Facebook. So hopefully nobody was too worried about my whereabouts. But we are here after our break, our much needed break. I feel recharged. As most of you know, I started a new diet recently. That's going really well. It took me a while to adjust, probably why I had zero energy to do much of anything. But I feel like I'm starting to warm up to it. I'm starting to adjust to it. So we are here. We're feeling good. We're ready for another live stream. I hope everyone's doing fantastic. Sometimes it's good, right? Sometimes it's good to take that little break. And if you're not over on the Discord, I'll toss the link in the chat right now. It is a good way, right? It is a good way to stay updated. Stay updated on me. Stay updated on the channel. So let me grab that link real quick, and I will toss it out there. Get the comments pulled up. I believe Amanda got first in chat today. What is up, Amanda? You did get first. How you doing? Let's see. Amanda and Life of Riley, Edward, Christopher. What's up, guys? We all deserve a break. Glad you're here. Thank you, Edward. Appreciate it. Where you been? Just recharging, dude. Just recharging. Like I said, I started that new diet due to my stomach issues, which, by the way, has helped tremendously. Like, I am on the road to that healing physically. But it took me a while to get used to it, I guess, to get warmed up to it. So my body coming off of that much usual just dirt and junk and caffeine and sugar took me a good bit to get used to. But we're here. We have recharged, and we are ready for a stream. We're going to be talking about, is it the worry causing your anxiety, or is it the situation? That is going to be the topic of today's stream. If you are somebody who is really, really caught up on the content, and when I say content, I mean what it is that you're worried about, right? So you wake up each day and you're worried about this, or you're worried about that. Maybe you're worried about your physical health. Maybe you're worried about some mental symptom, physical symptom, some situation in your life. We're going to talk about, is it the worry causing your anxiety, or is it the situation? So this is a stream dedicated to the content of your anxious mind, what you've got going on up there, and we're going to talk about that. Sugar detox can be insane, dude. I'm like, day 10 or something. Like, I'm good now. I'm good, but at first it was pretty insane. And by insane, I mean just super fatigued, right? Like, just super fatigued. I was so tired. I could barely keep my eyes open for 20 minutes at a time. So, kind of difficult to do any sort of streaming when you can't stay awake, right? But we're on, like I said, we're on like day 10, so we're good. That's behind us now. I have adjusted. My body has adjusted. We are here. Thank you guys for understanding. I really do appreciate it. But how have you been, Blake? Carissa, how have you been? Haven't caught a live in a while. We haven't been live in a while, so but we are here now. So we're going to give it just another minute or two, let some people get in here. And while we wait on that, is there anything else I want to talk about? Any sort of channel news? Any announcements? I don't think so. We've been doing the YouTube shorts really heavily here recently, and you guys seem to really enjoy those YouTube shorts, so if you do, make sure to continue to interact with those. We've been growing, we've been gaining subs left and right, and I really do believe that's because of the channel interaction. So just keep interacting, man. Just keep leaving those likes on the shorts if you enjoy them and you want to see more of them. Let's see, I was going to drop another link while we waited for some people to get in here. Sky, what is up, dude? Welcome. It's kind of a late one, not too late. It's about 7 p.m. so kind of a late one, but not really. I think this is a pretty good time for a stream. Let's see here. Okay. All right, you guys. Chat is filling up. We might as well go ahead and jump into this thing. Good evening, Lucy. How are you doing? We might as well go ahead and jump into this thing. So is it the worry causing your anxiety, or is it the situation? That is what we're going to be talking about today. So one thing that and I've been doing this for a while, and one thing that I've noticed that keeps people stuck, one of those top 5 things, if you wanted to make a top 5 list, one of the top 5 things I would say that keep people stuck in the anxiety cycle, in their recovery, in their journey, is getting caught up on theme, right? Getting caught up on content, that's another way that you can put that. So basically what I mean by that is people have this underlying belief, and it is a false belief, but it's a belief nonetheless, that they can't get started on the entire journey of recovery, okay? And we know that recovery consists of living your life and getting out of that second fear. What is second fear? Second fear is all that worry that you're doing pretty much 24/7, right? You got to spot that, try to put the brakes on that, come back to reality. It's very much a rinse and repeat process. Now, again, one of the top 5 reasons that I see people getting stuck or not started, or maybe started and then back and forth, whatever the case may be, is that they truly believe somewhere deep down in their core that they need to figure out the content of their intrusive thoughts, of their worry, of their triggers, right, in order to begin to heal and relax and start to work on this worry habits. But here's where that becomes super counterproductive, right? Here's where that becomes super counterproductive. As long as you believe that you have to mentally sort out every trigger, every theme, every piece of content, you are going to continue to do worry, because that's what worry is, right? So as you sit around and try to put to rest, oh, I'm not going to go crazy. Oh, I'm not going to do this bad thing, or that bad thing's not going to happen. As you spend each and every day trying to put these themes to rest, you are doing the opposite of what the advice is, right? And you're going to be doing that for a very long time. I'm going to spoil the ending for you here. You're going to be doing that for a very long time, because you will never reach a point where you are 100% satisfied with these statistics, right, that you try to enforce on your brain. All that won't happen because A, B, C, D. This won't happen because A, B, C, D. This one, you argue back and forth with these triggers. You are never going to get to the point where you are 100% satisfied with that. You're always going to find another loophole, right? Your brain is always going to find another loophole. You're always going to find another rabbit hole to go down. So if you wait to start this recovery journey until you feel satisfied that you figured out every trigger, you've mentally went through every trigger and put it to rest and figured it out. If you wait until that day to get started, you're going to be doing the opposite of the advice for a very long time. You're going to remain stuck, right? You're never going to hit the point where you say, okay, I think I've all put it to rest. I think I've put every trigger to bed. I'm mentally satisfied with all of my arguing that I've done, right? I am reassured enough, and I'm now ready to start recovery. That day's not coming, right? That day's not coming. In fact, the reason you're in the boat that you are currently in is because you have spent month after month, day after day, week after week, year after year, mentally arguing with every trigger that you have. Now, the trigger can be anything: a situation, a what if, the past, the future, this might happen, that might happen, what if this, what if, it can be anything. When I say trigger, it can be anything. You've spent day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, mentally trying to get your ducks in a row, so to speak, and it'll never happen. It will never happen, right? And it's the reason that you're here on this channel now, because you've absolutely fried your nervous system trying to mentally figure it all out. You have absolutely tired your nervous system out. You have absolutely made your brain, your body so fatigued and tired, what Dr. Claire Weeks called tired nerves, from trying to do all that mental stuff. We call that worry. People don't want to, some people don't want to accept that. They don't want to admit to that. When you're up here trying to solve the content of every trigger that you have, which means to argue with it, to try to figure it out, to solve it, to break out the charts, right? That's worry. Whether you want to admit to that and accept responsibility for that or not, that is worry. And worry equals anxiety. That's what the basis of this entire channel is. Worry equals anxiety. As long as you're doing worry, you're going to continue to stress the nerves. Now, you don't have to be perfect, and you don't have to become some Buddhist monk in order to heal, but we've got to cut back, right? We've at least got to cut back to normal, healthy levels, right? So as long as you're trying to figure out the content, you're going to be delaying your own recovery. As long as you're trying to figure out the content, you're going to be doing the worry, and the worry is the opposite of the advice, right? Don't wait until you feel ready. Don't wait until you feel like, okay, I've got all my ducks in a row. No, that's the opposite of the advice. You're just going to continue doing the worry, which is what landed you here to begin with. You're never going to satisfy that OCD type anxiety, thinking and intrusive. You're never going to satisfy it. It's always going to find something else to latch onto. Show of hands. How many people in the chat have sat and completely stressed themselves out, like to the max, trying to figure out a certain thought pops into your head, and you argue with it, and you fight with it, and you get to a point where you're like, okay, I feel satisfied with the argument that I just gave my own mind on that. I feel satisfied. And then the mind just finds something else. And then it finds something. The tired body, the tired mind will always just try to find something else. You're wasting your time jumping from theme to theme, trying to figure them out. Whatever theme is there, aka whatever trigger is there, let it be. Because for starters, you're not going to come to that satisfied point through an argument, and if you do, it's just going to find a loophole. An hour later, it's just going to find another theme. You're wasting your time, and it's the reason that you're here on the channel now, because you've tried to do that for so long and it's simply not working, and it is the reason your nerves are fried, right? It is the reason your nerves are fried. So don't wait until the day that you think you gotta, okay, I'm going to figure all this out, all these triggers out, and then I'll get started. You're going to be waiting forever. Don't wait for the day that you say, okay, I'm going to run through every last thing up here and get it all sorted, and then I'll be good. You're going to be trying to do that forever, right? Because it's nothing more than worry. You are giving power to intrusive thoughts and symptoms, and then trying to figure them out through worry, and you'll never reach a satisfied point with that. You'll just continue to tire the nerves more and more. You're running in a circle trying to help yourself, and I understand that you're trying to help yourself, but you're doing the opposite of what needs to be done if you want the nerves to catch a break. As soon as the nerves start to catch a break and you start to heal, you won't even care about what's going on up here, right? And this is where the two main keys come into the picture. Live your life. Show your brain that those triggers are not worthy of anxiety, right? And stay out of that worry. Spot that worry. Remind yourself, shut it down. Shut it down. Just accept what thoughts and feelings come, but don't add to. Don't add to. This whole journey comes down to not adding to, right? Now, that's the way to put the brakes on. That's the way to give the nerves a break. You trying to worry your way out of this thing, which is what you've been doing for so many days, months, weeks, years already, obviously A, isn't working, and B, is just beating your nerves up, right? It's just beating your nerves up. So to answer, what we've got in the title there in this stream, is it the worry causing your anxiety, or is it the situation? It's the worry, right? It's not the situation. You might blame the situation. You might say, well, if I knew for 100% fact that I wasn't going to go crazy, I wouldn't feel so much anxiety. No, it's the fact that you're sitting around worried about it to begin with, right? Cut out the middleman. It's the fact that you're sitting around worried about it to begin with. Come back to those basic words there. Worry equals anxiety, right? Worry equals anxiety. So, don't blame the situation. Don't say, well, if my life went this way or if my life went that way. Stop blaming the situation and start looking in the mirror. If you look in the mirror, you'll find the problem. If you look in the mirror, you'll find that it is your own habit of obsessive worry that is causing your nerves to just keep popping off, popping off, popping off. It's not so much that this exists or that exists or that this situation is there, that situation is there. There's plenty of people that live on planet Earth that can think about the same things that trigger you, and they're not triggered. Why? Why is there so many thousands and millions of people out there who can think about the same things that trigger you, and they're not bothered? Because they don't sit around and tire their nerves out with so much worry to the point that the nerves are willing to pop off over every little thing. So their nerves are strong and healthy. Therefore, they can think about the same things that trigger you and have no reaction. Now, if you want to get your nerves to the state that their nerves are in, you got to realize that there's nothing to figure out. You just have a tired nervous system, and it's time to realize that it's not the situation causing your problems. It is your own worry habit causing the problems. That is why person A can think about your triggers and laugh, and your triggers got you in a corner, but person A can think about them and not be bothered in the slightest. The only difference between you and that person is the state of the nervous system. One day you have to say that to yourself. One day you have to accept that. One day you have to say, my nerves are tired, and that's the end of the story. That's a closed book. And if you keep closing that book instead of trying to figure it out and go through all these reasons and all this sorting and all this figuring out and all this problem solving and planning, we call all that worry. That all falls under worry. If one day you just leave that all behind and you say, you know what, the only difference between me and him is that my nerves are tired, I'm not going to try to worry my way out of this. I'm going to accept that my nerves are simply tired and just close that book and continue to close that book, because it does take effort and dedication to continue reminding yourself of that and closing that book instead of going the worry route. But if you continue doing that, your nerves will end up in the same state as their nerves, and your triggers that once put you in a corner will make you laugh just like it makes them laugh, right? So no, it's not the situation. It's not that if you lived in a better world, or if this didn't exist, or if that didn't exist, then you'd be okay. It's that if you would work on your own worry habit, you would be okay. Right? But see, that's the thing. People are so caught up in trying to figure out the content that they're just continuing to do the worry, and you're not getting started. You can say you've started on your recovery journey, but can you really say that if you're still trying to figure out content? Because that goes against every bit of advice that you've ever been given here on the channel. So can you really say that you've started your recovery in that sense, right? Right? And I'm not saying that to try to make you feel ashamed. I'm saying that to try to open your eyes. Okay? So if you can't sit there and say that, you know what, I've dropped the content, I've stopped trying to figure out the content of my triggers and problem solve and figure out this, that, and the other, we call that worry. If you can't sit there and say that you've stopped doing that and you've said, you know what, tired nerves, there's nothing to solve, I'm going to try something new, which is to let that worry go, let my nerves heal, and I'm going to dedicate to that. You're going to have to catch that worry and shut it down quite a bit and just say, hey, you know what, tired nerves, acceptance, let that anxiety happen. Don't add the worry. You're going to have to do that quite a bit. But if you can't say that you've been doing that, right, can you really say you've gotten started? No, you can't. And that's okay, because we can get started today. We can get started in this moment. The next time you catch yourself worrying, if you say, you know what, there's nothing to figure out, right, that's a point. That's a point scored. That's a point towards your recovery. Okay, you say there's nothing to figure out. You go back to doing whatever it is you were doing in the real world, in reality. That is a point scored. And if you do it again 15 seconds later, that's another point scored. Keep in mind, it's not going to make you feel great right away. It takes time for the nerves to heal, right? It takes time for the brain to learn. So you're going to be scoring points left and right, and you might not feel the benefit of that right away, and that's okay. That's okay. But if you're ready, right? If you're ready to get started, you can get started at any point. If you're ready to get started, you can get started now. Keep in mind, okay, a little side note here. Keep in mind, the only reason all of this content in your head is bothering you as much as it is anyway, regardless, is because your nerves are so tired. That's why you can think of something that sets you off, and somebody beside of you can think of the same thing and it doesn't set them off. Your nerves are simply tired. That needs to be the end of the story. That needs to be the end of the book. As long as you run around like a mad scientist trying to figure this thing all out, you're going to be doing what we call worry. And as long as you're doing what we call excessive worry, again, you don't have to be perfect, but as long as you're going to be doing what we call excessive worry, you're going to be like a hamster in a hamster wheel who keeps taking a sledgehammer to their nerves, right? A sledgehammer to your nerves absolutely is what that is. So you got to stop running around like a mad scientist. Oh, my recovery and trying to sort it all out. A, B, C, D, conclusion, problem solve, argue, fight. What if I try this? What if I try this new snake oil? You know, what if I sacrifice a baby goat? And you got to leave it all behind. You gotta stop trying to figure out every thought that comes to your head. You got to stop trying to figure out this whole recovery thing. You got to just drop all that and say, you know what? My nerves are tired. That's why these thoughts are causing me anxiety. End of story. Done. And you got to live by that, because as long as you continue to run around in a circle, my recovery, content this, content that, figure this out, figure that out, you're going to be pressed all day, every day, stressing your nerves to the max. And then you're going to come back and you're going to say, why am I not moving forward? Why are you not moving forward? Well, I wonder, as long as you're acting like a mad scientist trying to figure out every thought and every feeling and you're not going to move forward. And I'm not saying that to be a dick, right? I'm saying that because I care enough about you to tell you, hey, it's time to stop. It's time to stop. You've tried to figure it out for how many days, weeks, months, and years now? Have you figured it out yet? You're not going to, right? Because it's as simple as this. Your nerves are tired and they're overreacting to your thoughts. They're overreacting in situations where they shouldn't be overreacting, but they are overreacting, and that's okay as long as you just remind yourself while they're overreacting that, hey, this is just an overreaction from a tired nervous system. Into the chapter, into the book. I'm going to close this book now and get back to doing whatever I was doing. That's the two main keys. Shut the worry down and live your life. If you start to live by that instead of trying to be this mad scientist who just does this worry day after day after day after day, if you start to live by just shut the worry down, live your life, which takes repeated practice and effort. I understand that. Takes repeated practice and effort. But if you start to live by that, maybe you can finally give your nerves a break. If we know that worry equals anxiety, and we do know that, think of what your poor nervous system's going through every time you try to figure out your recovery, every time you try to figure out every thought, every time you try to figure out every trigger, instead of just saying, hey, my nerves are tired. Imagine what your nervous system is going through. I think it's time to go the route of, okay, obviously I can't figure this out. I can't think my way out of this thing. In fact, the trying to think my way out of this thing is the reason I'm still in it, because my nerves can't catch a break that way. I think it's just time to chalk it up as tired nerves and to continue to chalk it up. That's important. Continue to chalk it up as tired nerves, right? Repeated practice. I think it's time to continue to chalk it up as tired nerves and heal, right? And heal. So again, I understand that as a human being, it seems reasonable to want to use your thinking mind to try to figure every little thing out. But ask yourself how far that's gotten you. It's only gotten you ill, right? It's only gotten you in this tired nervous system, and that's the only place that it's keeping you. You're not actually getting any further to any sort of grand truth. You're just doing the opposite of the advice and keeping your nerves stressed with all of the constant chitter chatter, right? So I think it's time to say, hey, you know what? Tired nerves. There's nothing for me to think about anymore. And just let your nerves relax. I think it's time to let go. And if you're afraid to let go, and if you're afraid to take that leap of faith, I promise one day you're going to say, man, it's been this many weeks, months, days, and years. I'm still not any closer to being able to think my way out of this thing. Maybe it is time that I give this guy on YouTube here. Maybe I give his advice a try, right? So I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching today's stream. I really hope you enjoyed it, and most importantly, I hope you use the information that you gathered from this stream, right? If you did enjoy it, make sure you leave a big thumbs up. It feels good to be back, man. It feels good to go on a little bit of a rant and just spread the love, man. Spread the message of acceptance. You know, Dr. Claire Weeks, she said it best. Just stay out of it. You got to just stay neutral. So I love you guys. We're going to switch on over to post stream, get us some music going, and hang out with chat for a bit. Let's make sure my mic is actually okay. My mic is working on this screen. So let's get us some music now, and then we will read some comments. Looking forward to seeing who we've got in chat today. Christopher, love your directness, appreciate it. They say I need to focus on blinking. If I don't, I'll pass out or have a seizure or something. It's freaking stupid. Like, really, where did this come from? I can't get rid of it. I must have missed the beginning of that conversation, so I'm going to scroll up, see if I can get caught up. But first, let's get us some music going, shall we? Thank you. You were awesome. You are awesome. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate you. Let's see. Remember that what you resist persists, Amanda, and that can be anything, right? That can be anything. So the more you really hate something and you freak yourself out about it with all the worry, the more it tends to stick around, right? You need to get to a place where we shut the worry down. It doesn't matter what the content is. So again, back to the point of today's stream, content is irrelevant. It's not the situation, right? It's the worry. It's the worry. It's giving your power to something. It's giving your power to something and then expecting it to go away. How can you expect something to go away if you give your power to it, right? How could you, that's a good way to put that. How can you expect something to truly go away if you're quite literally are fueling it? So same advice, nothing changes even with your current situation. That is my advice to you, right? You can take it or leave it, but what you give your power to, ooh, sorry, I don't know where that came from. What you give your power to tends to have power over you, right? I don't know why I'm burpy all of a sudden. I quit the soda, man. I don't drink soda anymore. Let's see. Okay. Lincoln, what's up, dude? Also, we got a $10 tip 15 minutes ago. I'm sorry, I'm just now seeing this. You must have went directly through the PayPal, which is fine. $10 tip from Chase. It says, for the live stream with a bro fist. Thank you so much, dude. I appreciate you. First tip of the stream. Thank you, Chase. We are on a 159-day streak. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. 159 days. That is crazy. That is crazy. We got Christopher in the chat. What is up, Christopher? Hope you're doing good, dude. Looks like I got here mid Wonder Bro rant. You did. You absolutely did. Let's see. Trying to make sure I didn't miss any super important comments or anything like that, but I think we're good. I think we're good. Thank you, thanks, Wonder Bro. Absolutely, Sky. Let's see. Hey, man, whatever helps you get to that place where you work on your own worry and shut that nasty shit down. Like that nasty worry shit that's just stressing your nerves, dude. Whatever you want to tell yourself, I don't care, as long as you start working on that. Right? Like, I'm not picky. I'm not a picky guy, as long as you get to that place. Stud status, yes. Alright, sorry, I was adjusting my mic. I didn't want you guys to have to listen to all the chaos of me moving wires around. But we should be good. Hopefully the music and stuff's not too loud. You guys just let me know. Soda's bad, okay? I mean, I feel a lot better after getting rid of that shit. I'll be honest. Just physically, just a lot better. It's poison, man. It's toxic. It's toxic. Just roll with it. I don't think I've heard of that. Like, read graphic novels, comics. I personally am not a big reader. We got to do a garden update soon as well. Believe me, when was the last garden update we did? Like 10 or 11 days ago or something. That amount of time, things have gotten wild out there, okay? Things have gotten wild out there. Which I guess 10 days as far as plant growth is a good amount of time for things to get a little crazy. So yeah, we got to do an update on that as soon as we can. I quit alcohol 9 days ago, hoping it would help. I think it made me worse. Ooh, let's really touch on this because this is important. So I don't, of course, obviously have no clue what your alcohol dependency was. I don't know how heavily of a drinker you were, but I will say that alcohol absolutely wrecks your nerves. And what I mean by that, it's the hangover that is absolutely horrible for your nervous system. So quitting alcohol is probably the best thing you could have ever done for yourself. And I mean that from a very serious place. It's probably the best thing you could have ever done for yourself and your nerves. Of course it's going to feel like it made it feel worse because that was your dependency. right? There's a bit of a withdrawal involved, obviously, so that's not fun. But you're on day 9, so I mean, you're over the hump, right? There's no point to stop now. And I'll also say that, you know, I'm sure you used alcohol as a coping method, right? And of course you're gonna feel a bit better when you're sipping alcohol, right? But the withdrawal's obviously not fun. But like I said, you're on day 9, and of course it's not fun to finally have to face your thoughts and feelings without something numbing you. That's not fun either. But honestly, that's probably the best choice that you could have ever made for yourself. The worst choice that you can ever make for yourself when going through anxiety is trying to numb it through the use of drugs, and what I mean by that is street drugs, or alcohol. So, you know, that's great. You should be proud of yourself. You should be proud of yourself, right? I was having panic attacks every day when I was drinking. Yeah, that's another thing too. Like I said, alcohol's horrible for your nervous system. Horrible. I mean, it might help at some points, right? But eventually it catches up to you. It's just really, really not good for your nerves. Really, really just not good for your nerves. And that probably, I mean, I don't want to say that's 100% the reason, because a lot of worry is involved in that, right? You've got a lot of bad habits to break, which is why you're here on the channel, right? But I will say that the alcohol use probably played a big part in why your anxiety was so through the freaking roof all the time. And I know what some people are probably thinking, right? But wonder, bro. Is that avoidance? And I say no. What you put in your body, and deciding not to put something so toxic in your body because it's just not physically good for you or your nervous system is not avoidance. It's called a smart move, right? It's called a smart move. A mixture of a shit ton of caffeine and alcohol is the equivalent to stomping on your nervous system with steel-toed boots. Really. Now that doesn't mean quit drinking your caffeine, right? Like, have at it. Just try to be smart about how much you're consuming, I would say, is a good way to put it. You know, because making physical healthier choices is never a bad idea. It's never a bad idea. You could absolutely still drink on occasion, alcohol, right? And you can absolutely still have a certain amount of caffeine each and every day, and recover, right? There's plenty of people that drink on occasion and enjoy caffeine, and they recover. They live a very normal life. So you can do those things, right? You can spoil yourself a bit and have a drink here and there and still partake in caffeine, but just try to be smart with your limits here. Everything needs to have a limit, right? Everything needs to have a smart limit, especially when we're talking about things that do have real effects on the nervous system, right? So if you're drinking like a 12-pack of Dew a day, like I was at one point, probably not a good idea, right? Let's cut that back a little bit. You can overdo anything in life. You can overdo anything in life. I will say this too. You know, if there's anyone watching who is heavily dependent on alcohol, like on a daily basis, probably a smart idea if you cut back on that in a smart way, right? I can't tell you what to do. But what I mean is, being dependent on alcohol is it's one of the more strong addictions that exists. So, you might want to wean yourself off of it and, do it that way, whatever you decide. But I'm not your boss, right? I can't make you stop. Caffeine and weed, I heard, are horrible for anxiety. Well, like I said, everything has its limit. Weed, when we're talking about weed, it does help some people and other people not so much, right? It affects everybody differently. But as far as the alcohol or caffeine thing goes, everything needs to have a certain limit. and alcohol, especially on a daily basis, is not good for a nervous system. I know it's unfair, I know, but I don't make the rules, right? I'm just the messenger. Don't shoot the messenger. Must have missed your comment where you said long time viewer changed profiles, but back. I don't know if I addressed that comment or not, but hello, welcome. Glad you are back. Glad you are back. My sleep schedule's all over the place, as it typically is. So with the streams, we're probably looking at the afternoon streams, like we've been doing. More than likely gonna stick to that. Like to throw in a morning stream here and there. I tried weed, didn't help too. Yeah, it affects everybody different. Some people enjoy it, some people not so much. Oh man, so many ads on this playlist here. I will say this though, no matter what you decide to do, right? Like if you're like, okay, gonna start a healthy diet, gonna drop like the caffeine or, you know, alcohol or whatever it is you decide to do, partake in this, don't partake in that, you know, that's your decision. Oh shit, Mickey. Mickey, thank you so much. I will address that in just a second. Very quickly, all I wanted to say was no matter what you decide to partake in or not partake in, you need to learn this advice here, right? This is going to be your core. This is going to be your root. You have to learn this advice here. Shutting down that worry, living your life. Mickey, thank you so much for the $40 tip. That takes us to tip goal. We are moving on to 160 day streak. 160 rounded up. That is amazing. Thank you so much, Mickey. Show her some love in the chat, guys. Show her some love. Thank you so much for Mickey taking us to tip goal practically all by yourself. And Chase, thank you so much for the $10 tip. Love you guys. Thank you so much. Let's see. You guys are the best. Wonder Bro, missed you. Sorry I was on live auction on my Whatnot store. Well, I hope that's going well for you, dude. What's up, Sanchez? Hope you're doing great, man. Welcome. Welcome. Also, guys, since we have hit the tip goal for this stream, I'm going to put this on screen real quick and just show you guys. Oh, wow, we need to adjust that because that is not even close to what we're really at here. So let me adjust that real quick. We are so close to the roof goal. It's absolutely insane. We'll be able to get half the roof done. So here's our new goal. We're at, I'm getting this info from my Discord announcement. Here's what we're at right here to get half of the roof done. So if we hit our goal there, and he is booked up until, what was it, the end of next month. So we've got some time here. But that is our new roof goal. We are very close to having half of our roof fixed. So there you go. I don't know where to put this. We'll just, like, you know, throw it up there. But yeah, we are so close to that. Unbelievable. Thank you guys so much. Oops. Been having lots of fun with the vintage toys. Love it. Glad you've been doing good, dude. Mike, what is up, dude? How you doing, Mike? Yeah, I was quoted 7K on half of the roof, but we got 2K of that covered, so that's our goal right now. If we hit that goal, we will have half of our roof done. Taking my power back. Thank you, Wonder Bro. I like that saying for it. I love it, Amanda. I love it. And congrats again. Congrats again on being able to put a stop to that horrible addiction. Not many people can say they've done that, so pat yourself on the back. That's amazing. Day 9, you know, you're over the hardest part, so the garden is doing good. It's doing great, dude. Like I said, we need to make another update on that, because it's been like 10 or so days since we've done a garden video, and a lot of growth can happen in 10 or so days with a garden. So we definitely need to make another one of those update videos. Doing good, and you? I'm doing good, man. Doing good. I have a huge day today. Love you all. Alcohol's not your friend. I agree. I'll keep the stream playing, but have to do heaps in the back. No problem, dude. No problem, Sky. Thank you again, Chase and Mickey. Appreciate you. We're moving on. 160-day streak. Thank you so much. Yeah, there is no problem with just kind of chilling, leaving the stream running. And I appreciate that. I appreciate it. How's the diet thing going for you, WB? It's going, dude. Like, all those days that I wasn't streaming, I was really just letting myself adjust. Going from that much caffeine and sugar a day down to practically none was, I don't want to say it was challenging, because it wasn't that hard, it wasn't that bad, but I was really, really tired and really fatigued, so, but now we're good. We're good. I don't even think about it anymore. So it's going well. Drinking a ton of water. A ton of water. Trying to also avoid any of that nasty, fatty, greasy food, which I just love oh so much. I love it oh so much, but it's just I can't do it anymore. So overall, it's been an adjustment, but you're on a diet. That's cool. I was kind of forced to, right? Unfortunately, I was kind of forced to. My stomach just couldn't handle it anymore. I was having some major issues. And I really just had no choice but to get rid of the greasy food and the caffeine and the sugar, because it was just fucking me up. It's fucking me up. So now it's just water, a ton of water each day, and juice. And no caffeine, no sugar. Been this way for about 10 days now, so I'm finally used to it. I'm over all the fatigue and shit, and I feel good. So as far as the food I eat, I'll be honest, I'm not like on a super healthy like food diet or anything, but better than it was. Better than it was. Finally, water. Finally, my organs are screaming in joy. My internal organs, they can't believe it. They can't believe it. Hey, what's up, Panda? I'm good. How you doing? Welcome, welcome. When I did another way. My appetite has definitely increased too. Like, I think from getting rid of staying so full from just like sugar and caffeine, my actual appetite has increased. Soccer Mom, thank you so much. Thank you. Let's see, we've got a tip note with that $20 tip. It's amazing how worry could disguise itself in so many different ways. Yes, it can be very sneaky. Sometimes I'll be stuck in a worry loop for days while living life, but actually I'd been white-knuckling through my life. I'm glad you've made that realization. Making that realization is huge. It's huge, right? A lot of people live their life, which is part of my 2 main keys, but not many people can say they live their life and they're shutting down the worry. They're working on the worry, right? Not many people can say they're using both of the 2 main keys, which is exactly why I made that YouTube short the other day addressing that, right? You got to have both of the 2 main keys. So thank you so much for the $20 tip, and I'm glad you've made that realization. Now you can start working on it. Do you think too much exposure is a thing for recovery? I'll say this about exposure. Exposure is pretty much useless if you're doing what Soccer Mom said in her tip note there. If you're just white-knuckling it, which white-knuckling it means you're exposing yourself to this, but you're worried the whole entire time. You're not trying to work on the worry. So first and foremost, exposure doesn't really do a whole lot unless you're doing it the right way, which means you're doing it while trying to shut down the worry, right? Because if you're exposing yourself to something and you're worried the whole time, you're just stressing yourself out. That's all you're doing. You're not really accomplishing a whole lot. So work on the worry habit while you do exposures. Now, to answer your question more specifically, do I think too much exposure is a thing? I think too much exposure can be a thing, again, back to my original point, if you're doing it the wrong way. I think if you're exposing yourself to this, that, and the other, and you're worrying the entire time, not working on the worry side of things, trying to shut that down, I think you could burn yourself out doing too much exposure because you're not really gaining much. You're not really doing much. It's not the end of the world, no, but if you're doing all these exposures and you're not doing them in the right way, which is to work on the worry while you do them, then I think, yeah, there might be such a thing as too much. You're just going to burn out, which, again, is not the end of the world. I'm just, just saying. You want to make sure you do it in the right way. I actually been using your advice to help someone else. Never thought I'd be preaching what you preach. I love it. I love it. I may or may not have had adventures in weed, LSD, DMT, and other things. Hey, well, experience. There you go, experience. So let's see. Here's what we're going to do. Let me try to figure out exactly here. Okay. We're going to update that roof goal there. Gets a bit confusing. We're going to have to do the math, which might take me a second. I'm a little slow, but we'll figure it out. So, here's what we do. We pull this up. Okay. Alright, sorry about that. It's not as simple as just like adding $20 to the roof goal due to Soccer Mom's tip. It's not as simple as that because there's like fees and stuff when I transfer from different accounts and blah blah blah, and it gets confusing at times, but had to make sure that was correct. Keep that over there. Much love right back at you, Sky. Always best to just move on, Panda. There's nothing to solve, right? There's nothing to solve. There's nothing to figure out. In fact, all the solving and figuring out is why you're in the situation that you're in to begin with, right? So I'm glad you've made that realization and that you're continuing to make that realization. Have you seen significant weight changes since your diet? I don't know if I'd say significant, but I've definitely lost some weight, for sure. For sure. Like 100%. Because keep in mind, like, I've dropped the sugar and caffeine and stuff, but what I actually eat is still not the healthiest. Although I'm, like, trying to not partake in any greasy foods or stuff like that. It's still, it's not like I'm eating salad still. You know what I mean? But, yeah, I've noticed some weight loss. I wonder, bro, it's been a while since I caught a stream. I've been improving other intrusive thoughts that were really getting to me a month ago. I'd love to hear it, Jack. Keep it up, dude. Keep it up. Keep it up. It's a practice, man. It's not overnight, but you'll reap the benefits of your hard work soon enough. Slow changes, no need to rush things regarding your diet. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it took me a good, like, 2 weeks to finally feel like I didn't need caffeine to function, right? Like, here these past few days, I don't even think about it much, and I'm just kind of like, okay, cool, like, I'm good. But yeah, it can be a slow change, but I feel like I'm over that hump now, right? Like, I'm chilling. I'm used to it now. It took a minute, but I'm used to it. But yeah, I agree. No need to rush things. One day at a time.
Let me show you how.
Why is there so many ads in this music today? It's like the 5th one. It's like the 5th one. Most importantly, though, you know, I didn't start doing, no, I don't take any vitamins, Amanda. I didn't start doing this diet because I wanted to lose weight. I mean, that's just a nice side effect, right? I started it because of my stomach issues. Like, you guys remember me talking about, like, I've been having some, like, bad stomach issues, and, you know, I was doing some research, and basically it was like greasy foods, all that sugar sitting on your stomach, like, none of that's good for you, like, period. So I decided to cut all the soda out and stuff like that and start drinking more water, mostly so I could physically feel better and my stomach could settle, and it has helped that majorly. Since I started this like 10 or so days ago, my stomach has not done that again to that degree. So there's been like a day or two where, you know, it's been a little queasy or whatever, but yeah, I mean, since I've started doing this, my stomach has been great compared to what it was before. So Yeah, so that was my reason behind doing all this. But the weight loss is a nice bonus, I'll admit. I'll admit. I had a beer belly just from soda. Just from soda, so that is a nice little bonus. I still be sneaking some cupcakes every now and then, okay? I'm not pounding down the salads every day. We're still sneaking cupcakes and probably some unhealthy foods, but yeah, no. It's okay. It's okay. I did, dude. A beer belly just from soda. I did 100%. Like soda just kept me bloated 24 hours a day. Still taking my sleep some time to adjust, but no rush, right? No rush. One day at a time. Whew. Been dealing with the after effects of anxiety, fatigue, and weakness occasionally. Makes me a little lightheaded at times or feel like I starve myself, but I just take it easy. That's all you can do, right? Just take it easy. I mean, you know what you're putting in your body, right? You know if you're eating a meal or if you're starving yourself, right? And if you're eating a meal occasionally, you know, you don't have to stuff yourself, but if you are eating and you're drinking and you're doing all the basics, then you know, anxiety, you bastard. You know, that's who we can put the blame on. So I mean, there's all sorts of like after effects that you'll feel once you start to recover, right? It's a whole new world, and your body definitely has to adjust. A lot of people don't realize that your body is quite literally addicted to stress chemicals, right? But that's a thing. Just like if you continue to put something in your body for a prolonged period of time, your body becomes dependent on it. There's a dependency that is formed on a physical level. And the same can be said for stress hormone, which is something that a lot of people don't know. But if you have been flooding your body with stress hormone from worry for year after year, and you start to take that hormone away because you're doing less worry, there's a bit of a withdrawal that happens, right? And it's nothing super insane or crazy. It's nothing to worry about, ironically. But it is real. It does exist. It's not a horrible thing. It's a very good thing, actually. But you know, you're gonna feel more tired. You're gonna feel a bit of fatigue. You're gonna need probably more rest than usual. You know, all these things are okay. But definitely, your body can become dependent on stress hormone. And trust me, rather than continuing to live that way, you would rather deal with the fatigue that comes with finally healing. So, it's much easier to deal with than continuing to live that way. Getting a good night's sleep has been my favorite problem recently. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And thank you guys so much again for the fact that we are literally, I mean, look at the number on the screen for just a second. We are that close to being able to put half of this roof on this house. So I didn't know if it was going to be possible, man, but I mean, things are working out, you know. Good thing after good thing. So here we are that close, and like I said, he's booked up until the end of next month anyway, so we got time. But yeah, we are that close to being able to put half of the roof on this house. And I couldn't thank you guys enough for that. Thank you so much. Also, not to mention 160-day streak, which is just crazy, dude. We're almost at 200-day streak. So thank you guys so much for that continued love, that continued support. It worked out in the end, man, and I think it's going to continue to work out. I really do believe that. So thank you guys for that. Of course, I will continue to do my part to the best of my ability, and make these streams and these shorts and just continue to try to help you guys out as much as I possibly can. So we help each other, and I really do appreciate it. I love you guys so much. It's like a drug when you don't give it near as much as withdrawals. Yes, why is there so many commercials in the music today? Yes, I couldn't agree with you more, Panda. But like I said, the fatigue and everything that comes with no longer having as much stress hormone, that will pass fairly quickly, and it's nothing. Dealing with that is nothing compared to dealing with continuing to live with all that bullshit stress, right? So it's a walk in the park dealing with that compared to just continuing to live in the rabbit hole, right? Smashed crap. Interesting comparison there. I've never heard that one before. Interesting comparison, Sky. Now all I can think about after reading that comment is a crab that I seen on TikTok earlier. They put little top hats on it. They even take it on walks. Little check-in here and there from Anxiety Panda, right? A little bit of, hey, do you want to worry? Hey, do you want to worry about this? What's up, Christine? The question you have to ask yourself, right, is not how long I've been at it or how long this or that is. How much worry do you still do every day? And if you find that it's a lot, then you've found the answer to your problems, right? So now we can start to work on it. Really, you really got to dedicate to spotting when you're up in your head bothering yourself with worry and giving yourself a firm reminder that A, it's not worth it, and B, you're ready to start healing. So worry equals anxiety, which is a very basic, kind of algorithm there, but it's so true. Worry equals anxiety. You can't expect your nerves to heal if you're constantly stressing them with worry. So you don't have to be perfect, and you don't have to not ever worry again, but you do got to work on it. You do got to cut it back a little bit. So you need to remind yourself it's not worth it. All right, you guys, you got to work on it. It's not just going to happen, right? It's not just going to happen. The worry habit doesn't just go away on its own. It's something that you definitely got to put some practice into, and that's okay because you're capable. You're perfectly capable. Everybody is capable, and like I said, you don't have to be perfect. You just got to cut back on it a little bit. All right, so at least a little bit to give those nerves a bit of a break. So spot when you're worried. Remind yourself that there's nothing to worry about, and that it's pointless. It's worthless. It's the reason that you're still ill, and that you're gonna slowly put the brakes on that. And you might have to do that a lot, but it's worth it. It's worth it, and it gets so much easier. As soon as you get started, it gets so much easier. All right, you beautiful people, we are past that 1 hour mark. Thank you guys so much for watching today's stream. I don't think we're on the playlist that has our song, so let's get that pulled up. Thank you guys again so much for watching today's stream. I love you so much, but the worry is automatic. False, intrusive thoughts are automatic. The worry that you add to it is not automatic. It is a conscious choice, because worry is you thinking to yourself, and thinking is a choice. So I know that the intrusive thoughts are automatic. You might have a thought that comes in that says, oh, you're screwed. But if you add a bunch of, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God to that, that is not automatic. It might feel automatic because it is a habit, but it is not automatic. You can catch it at any point and say, you know what, enough is enough. And you can start to put the attention back into the real world, and you can rinse and repeat that, 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 rinse and repeat that. It is not automatic. It is not automatic. It is not automatic. It is not automatic. It is a habit. I love you guys so much. Intrusive thoughts are automatic, but worry is not. Please work on it. Remind yourself, when you catch yourself worrying, you say to yourself, no more. It's just tired nerves. Or whatever you want to tell yourself, right? Whatever you want to tell yourself, whatever works for you. Rinse and repeat that. It is not automatic. It is a habit, and it's a habit that's keeping you sick. Please work on it for yourself. I love you, and until next time, as always, stay awesome.
Whatever you want, I'll be whatever you want. Just tell me you love me or not, whatever it costs. I know I'm talking a lot, there's something I gotta get off. Don't wanna be this no more, I don't wanna drink no more. Always gotta do the most, thinking that I'm insecure. Really should've listened more, but I don't, of course. I'm an asshole, I'm a good guy, I'm your best friend, I'm the worst type. Tell you everything that you heard right, just so I can fuck on the first night. Feel like I'm losing hope, running from coast to coast. I don't know where to go, this all I've ever known. I'm a stone cold killer, I'm a billionaire. I got my own gold digger. If I wasn't this way, I'd rather die. No, did it die? Wait, did it die? Wait, did it die? I'm a stone cold killer, I'm a billionaire. I got my own gold digger. If I wasn't this way, I'd rather die. Won't die. Did it die? Wait, did it die? Wait, did it die? My aunt think I'm perfect, I know I'm not. My mama be worried, I told her stop. They know I did drugs and think that I'm off. Little do they know I never could stop. My manager hate when I'm pulling up late. Back on my bullshit, she think it's a phase. I got relations I gotta maintain. I'm two different people, my side and my main. Yeah, I'm sober, I'm an addict, I'm a low life, I got habits, but I refuse to be average. Really so tired of acting, don't know what I miss no more. Too bad you don't hit me more. I'm bad when I get too bored, careful what you wishing for. I'm a stone cold